Good evening, everyone. Crafting Identities is a podcast where we explore how founders, creatives, and professionals build, express, and redefine identity through their work. Every episode sparks discovery, depth, and unexpected insights. Today's guest is Purvi Shah, an interior designer known for her emotional, intuitive, and bold approach to design. We'll start by getting to know her little journey and then dive into some powerful, thought provoking questions about future and design. Over to you, Purvi. Do you want to say a little bit about yourself and give a little light to all the viewers who are there?
So me as an interior designer, it's been a journey of 18 years. We've done numerous projects, space planning, different sorts, right from factories to buildings to luxury apartments to rental apartments to commercial spaces, public spaces. We like to design that anything needs to be designed.
Wow, what's your company name?
So it's called PSI, Purvisha Interior Design. And we are a small studio, which we are a boutique studio, I would say, that likes to, curate highly curated space planning for our clients.
Oh, lovely. That's amazing.
And my journey has been very, very interesting. Right from I wanted to do medicine, and I ended up doing interiors. So it's been a very different journey of different fields and different creativity. But as you can see, I'm very, very passionate about the work I started off, and I continue to do this, and I still love my job.
Amazing.
So we've done. I've written for lots of magazines. I have written for articles for different magazines. I got recently a Goldman Sachs award at IIM Bangalore. Also Indian School Business School. I did some workshops, which was sponsored by Goldman Sachs, and of course my journey continues now. I've become a Vastu consultant, a color specialist, and getting into spiritual growth and trying to use them in our space planning.
Amazing. Thank you, Purvi. Thank you for your time. Great. So, the first question that I have for you is that will AI replace interior designers and architects?
So this is a very interesting question. The whole industry has been asking and whispering, and we've got these students asking us, and we've got these clients asking us about AI and how it is, and what kind of AI rendering you do. So I feel AI is fast. AI is efficient.
Right.
AI gives you layouts, mood boards, patterns, color palettes in seconds, like in nanoseconds, and we have
Absolutely.
these so many huge quantum of design mood boards, which you actually would have been doing it earlier in a little thought process. This is done in split of a second. Yes, AI is a tool to use by the interior designers and the designers worldwide. But whether it will replace it as an interior design field, I doubt it, because human intervention is required.
True.
There is something called intuition that we designers work with, emotional intelligence. Experience about reading the mind of a client and understanding them, what they want or need, so that it is absolutely given, trying to read their mind so that we can actually give them what they require in a particular space.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. We also do designing and it comes to with our clients. What I always tell my people who are working with me also is that make sure you are utilizing AI as a tool, not being completely dependent on that.
Correct.
And absolutely correct that human intervention is so important. See, still a client servicing works.
Yes.
We need client servicing. We need the clients to be spoken about. We need clients that the conversation has to happen. We cannot have a machine doing all the work for us, right?
So you can input the machine, you can type in, and how we
Absolutely.
all use ChatGTP for our personal, as a personal assistant.
Yeah.
But then again, it's words, It's a photograph which has got no meaning, in the sense no side problems,
True.
So we deal with people in real world. We deal with people who come from a non-educated background, who are doing the most phenomenal designs. Once a rendered drawing is given to them, so who will do that?
Absolutely correct. I completely. So that's why I think it's just a tool. You need to adapt yourself with the tool, and of course, you need to know to give the right prompt. I think that's a very important aspect.
So I agree. As I told you, AI can assist only,
Exactly.
but it cannot be replaced. I mean,
True.
human insight is irreplaceable, I feel.
Yes.
In today's time, also, and maybe in the future, because
Yes.
we are doing constructions with so many materials.
Correct.
So how do we develop the technical sense to construct a piece of furniture or a piece of space?
True.
So I guess AI is only going to be our assistance.
Yeah, absolutely correct. It will always be an assistant, not going to overpower us, because I have always seen this. So what is happening is we are also learning. So we are millennials, okay? And the way I look at it, I'm learning every day how to utilize AI in a particular way. And prompts, as we are smarter, we know how to give the right prompt. So it will always be a tool to be used, but because of AI, what something I'm seeing is happen to us is we give the job that takes longer, that has reduced now.
Yeah, it's time saving.
Absolutely. And so we can concentrate on other things which are far more important for us to do, which we used to do a lot of these crazy work which was not required. I think
Correct.
that has helped us with AI.
Yeah, so technology is always good for human beings, but you need to harness it in a
Absolutely
manner
correct.
so that humans can use it in a better and an effective way and not replace it.
Perfect. Great. So, are we designing? So, this is again the continuation of the question. Are we designing for humans or for algorithms?
I would say, okay, of course, we are designing for humans. Algorithms are just trends, data analysis, kind of information that it helps us to understand that, okay, a particular reel has gone well, a particular kind of a concept on our Instagram or our social media has gone well.
Correct.
So it just helps us that, okay, people love this. But things that have gone viral, if you see, have no sense. And that's how we've realized it, that, to making sense out of this whole algorithm, because machines are doing the algorithm. I mean, it's not something to believe
I would
about.
like to add what you're saying. I see these things which are going, like what is trending, a fad. It's
Yes.
just for few, hours or few months, or that's it, and it's gone.
Yeah.
It goes viral like 5 million, 10 million, 20 million, and you do it. But at the same time, I see that that's all a fad. The real content is not there. The real content comes from the real human intervention and a human aspect of it. So that's the way I
we
look at
feel
it.
it. As
Yeah.
humans, we feel it, we live it, we smell it, we sense it, which
Absolutely.
is absolutely important compared to the algorithms. Of
Yes.
course, algorithms help you to boost your sense of belonging there in a particular field or profession, and say, oh, I've got so many million likes.
Likes. You're
And
so true.
yeah, but then those are likes,
Sure.
and the real world, I feel, if you've made somebody's homes or designed somebody's space and somebody's happy and peaceful and calm about it, I think that's, for me, is a much better mission achieved than the number of likes that come through the gram.
True. Absolutely correct. Great. Okay, so this is a very important question I really want to ask you, and I think we as women, do you think women, have a lot to do with design? So, like, you are an architect, interior designer, and you go to different clients that you work with. So, do you think women have a great role to play in the design front with all your clients that you work with?
So we can say we as women are very intuitive about energy, space. We multitask. We do things that absolutely we understand in a few minutes about what we want, what we don't want, what we
True.
like. A sense of belonging, emotional intelligence is very high. That's why we are able to be mothers and at the same time be working professionals, which I
Absolutely
feel is a
correct.
very tough job to do, to raise a child who's the
Exactly.
next generation, and at the same time, try and meet your ambitious demands as a human being or as a woman.
True.
When I feel that when a woman and another woman interacts to make space, there'll be chaos because there'll be so much of, we'll be talking in a language that the men around find it very funny and can't even relate to it because words are spoken, different kinds of names of colors are spoken, textures are spoken, but the ultimate result is just phenomenal. And men then of course just say, okay,
They just love it. Wow, I like it.
and they just say love. And they said, I mean, I tell the men who actually, I said, it's y'all are busy nicely sitting in the office earning money for this.
True. I completely
Financing
agree.
it.
And
There's a nice thing I like to say in
Yeah.
this is that, it's quite humorous. I feel when two women team up, a designer and a homemaker, mostly men disappear on this. And they know the space is officially out of his control. And he can say a word, he can't say a word, and he's forced to say wow at the end of it and foot the bill.
Perfect. I get it. So we don't want to be seen as we are bashing the men. Sorry, but I would like to say that yes, you're absolutely correct. That there is a huge amount of, because women are more intuitive, women are more multitaskers, and it obviously helps them to, when they team up together, they come up with something very beautiful.
Yes.
And then the men said, wow, this is really
I never thought of
great."
it.
Yeah, I never
I
thought
know,
of
how
it.
can you think of this? And oh, this is perfect what I need. So
Exactly.
again, women are so intuitive about and the energy levels of their space understanding.
Absolutely.
I think anybody who's not even had as an interior designer's professional, I feel women just able to adapt and be flexible about the trends, at the same time be practical about the functionality of the space and still put their foot down on the aesthetics.
Yes, I was just going to say that aesthetics, they're aesthetically very, very strong, right?
Yeah.
So as I said, we're not going to bashing the men here. We just want to say that it's just that it works very well between
Yeah.
two women, and so that's why women and design goes hand in hand.
Correct, I agree.
Completely. And also there are certain times I have seen that there are certain personality of a woman makes a lot of difference, the way that the person wants the room to be, like certain colors, like this is what something I want to ask you. Do you think that really works? Like, a certain color, like a red seems to be very powerful color, right? So do you think that that really works well with when you do your client meetings?
I have a thing with colors. I said
Uh-huh.
over the years of 18 years and 20 years of practicing in this field, I think it's an intuitive thing. When I get to meet a client, as a design studio also, our process of, interaction with the design is very extensively because we understand and try to get the psyche of the clients and the people who are occupying the space.
Perfect.
The homeowners, I wouldn't say clients. I think they are the ones who...
Absolutely.
And we design as per them and not as per the style we want to. So
Okay.
again, the space starts looking very peaceful and calm and appreciated because that is what they wanted, and we've been just the medium or a translator into
What
as a
they
result.
look for, or
Yes.
the result, right?
When it comes to colors, I've always had the upper hand. I feel that somehow intuitively I'm able to mix colors, mix patterns, and the end result is very soothing, calming, and the homeowners are happy about it,
Perfect.
which really matters about it,
I get
the
it.
process of designing or designing spaces
Right.
is fun actually,
Uh-huh.
because there is a lot of interaction among the families. You get to know the family, you become therapists for them, sometimes you become friends for them. We dine and have coffee over so many meetings that we've had, because we had some lengthy long meetings over so many things.
Home is a very personal space, right?
Yes.
And you're actually entering into this personal space and helping them to recognize what they want, their
Yes.
dreams, right? And you are like a mediator.
Yes.
Helping them to recognize their dreams, and you're doing that. So that's why that relationship gets built between the two.
I just feel
homeowner and the designer.
I agree,
architect.
because I just feel that instead of putting in your stamp
Right.
and what brands you would want to put in and what you conceptualize, I think a lot of extensive, time spent with those homemakers, their family, they could be a generation, 3 generations, 2 generations, could be a pet owners, how they work, how they travel, how they interact with their kids, all help us to understand that this is what they would like, this is they may not like, and I've been bang on. you know.
Perfect.
So for me, we always, in our studio discuss, that we try to kind of shoot ideas at each other, and I always tell them like, no, this is going to be what they're going to like.
Right.
And we still have A and B option, and we realized that the B option, what I was saying, was actually what they went
Like
ahead
end
with.
of the day,
Yeah.
yes.
So I
A
just
lot of
feel,
brainstorming
yeah.
and a lot of conversation that leads to a beautiful design and something that one can see, right?
And for me, I've realized my journey as a designer has evolved. I mean,
Of
you
course.
can't continue doing the same thing all over and over again. At some point, you have to have meaning to it. So I feel there is a sense of spiritualism now in my design, in the sense of realizing that you need to take the homemakers to another level, which they are not aware of.
Right.
And at the same time, give them what they want, because sometimes people are not there. So that's a very important process I have learned over the years, as to how to slowly carry their homes to what they want them to be. So when I return to these spaces after a couple of years, sometimes I, over some tea or some coffee, and we have a conversation, and most of my clients now are my friends, so we just kind of
True.
and I realized that then they said, you were right, Purvi, I did this way, and it's made me happy, I'm comfortable, and I am peaceful.
Perfect.
And I just feel that's like
That's
mission
what it
accomplished,
is, yeah.
because it's not about like, I've got the trendiest furniture, but I've got space designed for you.
For you. Right.
So, as interior designers, that's the most important role we play to how to carry the homeowners, especially for homes. Of course, offices are different.
Yes.
That's more about how business gets done. So we've got to understand the space and how it's transactional. So it's not about all these calming spaces and all that. But then homes are private
Yes.
centuries. They've really become post-COVID. Homes have become such an important part of our life, because it's a space that where you're me.
Yes.
So maybe it's a corner, it's a bedroom, or it's a library, or it's a den area. That's what I am.
I also like to ask
Yeah.
you, does Vastu play a big role? Like, what kind of role does a Vastu play in your space? Because you are an interior designer and architect, so you do this day in and day
Yeah.
out. So does people ask for Vastu as an important aspect? Just a
So
question.
I tell you, with COVID times, when I had a lot of free time, I actually did a lot of reading on Vastu, and I did a lot of research on it. So I never followed Vastu in the earlier years, because I was very afraid that I'm going to fix my mind in the designing and it's not correct, and I should be free flowing. I should be it should be adjustable to the clients.
Correct.
Clients were always my first important thing.
Absolutely.
I would even give up certain of my fees if the clients were not, happy with it and all, and I would give or take an extra mile for it, so
True.
that they would just be happy, because I just felt that once, you're able to live in a life, in a space which has a positive energy, everything around it becomes, you're happy as a person, you're right. So Vastu, I feel, is been followed in the recent times even more extensively. I think post-COVID, everybody's done this because they had a lot of time. People went through the scriptures, went to the ancient mythologies and the kind of stuff. And I realized that Vastu is an important part. It has been always been there from the years and years and centuries. And there are certain rituals which I feel I would avoid, because I'm not sure whether I'm not a ritual person. I'm a spiritual person.
True.
But there is a certain science for, certain elements of your sleepings, your temple position, your entry, exit, your bathrooms. I follow them now. I'm in fact doing advanced Vastu, and I'm also consulting. So I try to
So
make
I
them.
have this question for you. Do you think that Vastu, so when somebody has done up the house, right? And this question that comes to me is that I have not done Vastu in that, right? So do you suggest that you break this and do something, or you suggest remedies which are simple and they can do it at home?
So I suggest remedial, because, and of course I don't get into very many scriptures and about
Yeah.
it. It's because certain things in life, they have to happen.
Yes.
But yes, if there is a lot of problems, then we definitely do remedial Vastu for them and help them out, and they've been successful. And I think
Right.
it's one of the things that we can. Why not?
True.
If it's going to help someone's health, it's going to help someone's health or relationship. There is no harm in trying it out.
True.
So I think it's successful. So we should use Vastu in a certain extent, I feel. And again, I'll tell you, homes are made permanently in India because we spend so much of our resources, our energy
And
on home.
time to
Yeah,
make something,
yeah, in
right?
homes. And I feel that might as well do it rightly because
Right,
you're not going
yeah.
to change it after 5 years. So just
True.
try and bring that. And then I guess that also helps in the positive result over the years. I mean, no client has come and told me that, I think we should have not done. I would have still lived like that. So
True.
I guess there are positive results in the end.
Nice. So another question I have, scent is more powerful than design?
So scent is something that goes to your brain first, and design is what you see, which is a later, as you see, as for science. Like a particular scent can take you back to moments. It can help you to feel something. It can bring in the kind of energy that you want compared to a design. So I feel a fragrance can be more powerful than the room itself. Because there are times like how you can actually close your eyes and sense the gilli mitti in the monsoon
Oh,
rain, the
yes.
smell of the earth, Mother Earth when it is, and it just transforms you to childhood memories. So it has a very illusionary powers of a scent, especially when it's got a childhood memory attached to it. But design is also very important because design helps you to bring those memories into 3D look.
Like a perspective that you
Yes.
can say.
And if you
Yes.
add that with a certain fragrance or a scent, it just creates the whole drama that, takes
So
us
you're
back.
saying that if so, I think in everything, all of us, even as an agency, when we run an agency, when we work with clients, so there are certain things that we always work with. The
Okay.
sensory organs, the everything that put
Yeah.
together makes a lot of difference. So scent that way, you're saying a sensory bit makes a lot of difference that you are saying, but of course it has to be collided with design,
Yes.
and that's very very important.
So I feel, that's a new thing that we are actually now looking at spaces. Now that when we are creating these spaces, we are trying to customize fragrances for them
Uh-huh.
according to their nature and according to what we feel it is. Of course, there's a lot of curation and a lot of detailing.
Of
I mean, it's
course.
not a part of a job of an interior designer. But I sometimes feel that it just helps in enhancing the storytelling and the experience to the homemakers. So we've been developing different kind of fragrances for them in their homes or for offices, and actually one we are actually looking at developing and we are trying to experiment them is one is called the bloody orange citrus scent.
Okay.
So it's got the
Exciting,
little,
exciting.
yeah.
Tell us a
So
little more. I think
so I'm
everybody
trying
wants
to
to know.
develop this and try to make them into candles for them.
Uh-huh.
We've got, of course, people who do this in customized level, and we've placed them into living rooms and stuff like that, and the feedback has been good.
Nice.
So yes, so it's interesting. Fragrances are good. A beautifully designed space can definitely impress you, but the right fragrance can help you to enhance the experience. So I feel scents are becoming an important part. Like if you enter these nice hotels, some of the have their staples fragrance that you enter in one of the receptions. I just remembered one of the ITC hotels.
Right.
They have a particular
yes.
fragrance and you just smell it every ITC kind of hotels that you visit, and you can remember them and you can identify them in that manner. So
Exactly what I
again,
want to say. Exactly. So this is what we do as a company in the brand. So every aspect of a brand needs to be taken care of. The scent is an important aspect. So everywhere you go to whichever ITC you go, you experience the same.
and they're patented. So
Patented,
I'm
exactly.
knowing me, I would just go anywhere to get any miles to get
and
this
that's
kind
how
of.
you recall. This is the brand, right?
Yes.
This is all.
So it's all about it's a part of storytelling.
Absolutely correct.
And I think homes have also become as I told you, they're centuries now. They're like sacred temples for lots of people because
True.
people spend a lot of time and energy in them,
Yeah.
and a lot of effort goes into them. So I feel that I think this is becoming experimental. It's
True,
people are
true.
wanting a certain fragrance, and then they love it, and then they use it for their parties, their evening yoga sessions or meditation
And
sessions.
also, I believe that when you get a home done well, and people come and so you also do it for your friends and families when they come and say, oh wow, I love the energy, I love the positive vibes, and then they also talk about it, who's done it, right?
Yes.
It does work. And then you also feel happy and nice that my clients are talking good about me, and they also do referrals like
Yes.
that, right? So it really works. That's how I see that whatever you do, if you do good job or good work, people do refer.
Yes, I agree.
And this is something I've seen that it works for in our field also. We are a brand, we do brand consulting, and we also have seen this with
Correct.
us, that if you do a good job, you get people to recommend you, and the same thing happens, and you feel nice. That means you've done a good job, that your client is recommending you, right?
Yeah, I
And I
agree.
love the smile on your face on this.
I
Perfect.
feel it's a lot of hard work in making homes.
Absolutely.
And it's mutual. Not that because I'm a professional, I'm saying that. There's because a lot of things, lot of materials, lot of labor. Like when you finish a house, almost 100 people have like come and gone in your house,
Yeah.
touched your house in any manner. And that's a lot to do in, I feel it's a lot for space planning, and I just feel that, the experience that takes you in making homes, it should be a nice experience. I feel the whole journey,
it is.
should
It's
be
important.
documented. In fact, we've done it for certain clients. We've actually given them as souvenirs at the end of them, and some of them have been so shocked. And and it's a very thoughtful gift, because we feel that the process of designing homes is so special. It's so curated. I mean, highly curated. We are actually we design spaces for small matchboxes, to their drawers, to their size of customized clothes and shoes, and stuff like that. So I just feel that that whole design process, as you go through it, is something to be enjoyed about.
Perfect. So I think that's very important. And when you also do a before and after,
Yeah.
you feel happy. Like
Yes.
before how it was and how it is after now, you also feel a lot of you feel satisfied that
Yeah.
this is what I've done from this entire thing from where it is today.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of satisfaction.
Yeah, and it's a lot of hard work gone into
Of
that
course,
process.
I completely understand.
Because I just feel space for me, because I've done spaces for such a long time. I just love spaces. So when I see spaces for the first time, I know this is what it should have been and could be, and I should do
Yeah.
it this way. And I like to talk to spaces. Now I can be a little absent-minded about these things, but then that's how I work, and I enjoy my working, and I'm passionate still about my work.
Okay, so another question: is home today lying to you?
It's a very bold question, I feel.
It is.
Because a home is just what? Wall, furniture put together, and walls, and put things together. But the truth is that homes speak.
Of course it
They
does.
of course tell you at times what is not real, what is behind the scene. Is it the whole truth, or is it only a partial truth? So there are homes that I've seen where they cover up the whole process, have very neatly, very perfect looking homes, which are absolutely with brands put up together, sorted
Yeah.
them, and you've just made a good cooking recipe, and the outcome is of course very, very desirable and very, very exciting and trendy. But are these really homes that people want to live in? Is
Correct.
my question.
Yeah, it
So-
looks too perfect.
Yes.
But it has to be a little messy, a little rustic. I feel that way it really works because, and you're absolutely correct that, it's like when you see some homes are like nothing moved, everything is in the right perspective, everything is right. But is that real?
Yeah.
Is that the question?
So it sometimes makes you wonder that whether this is a set design, or is it an AI rendered design when you see it
Correct.
on the Instagram or the other digital media.
Yes, yes.
And why is it so picture perfect?
True.
Because I just feel that imperfections add the character to the
yes, it
space.
does.
So I'm not talking about the finish of the house.
yeah,
Of course,
yeah, yeah.
that has to be perfect,
True,
and there
true.
cannot be any compromise on that kind of because we hire skilled artisans and laborers to
True.
do it. But there has to be some corners which are very casual, where things
Yes.
misappropriate, or they're quirky. They're elements of your personality,
Yes.
and not because this so and so brand is there, so next to it this brand only this is going to work. My mother's heritage piece of furniture cannot work.
Absolutely
So I
correct.
just feel that a little melange of things is required to get
True.
interiors, because that's what you give yourself. It gives a personality. How you dress up also.
Yes.
if you're just dressing up in a black and white like how Steve Jobs did because he didn't want to get
Yeah.
involved in the colors and think and waste his time on it. Yes, it does give you character, but it is so perfect.
Yes,
But
true.
sometimes when you dress up in the color, you realize this is my
Yes.
boss has a yellow color T-shirt today, so
True.
he's happy. He's
Yes.
and
When
it
you
adds
wear
the zing
different
to it.
colours.
Yeah.
Yes, true. I completely agree. Also, I believe so. We work with a real estate client, and we even when we design, sometimes I make sure that the room should not look completely perfect. There's some bed sheet which is little,
Yeah.
it looks a little
Yeah.
imperfect.
So I sometimes feel that the home reflects an old you.
Absolutely,
You've
it does.
absolutely changed as a human being. You've overgrown that kind of a concept or that kind of a space. You're now into another level, maybe spiritually, maybe trendier. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
you
Maybe
change.
something, as you said, your grandmother's stuff which is lying in the corner, or something really old which is very close to you. Not a perfect stuff, but something which is very close to you can be as rustic as a basic stuff which could be lying in the corner.
Yeah.
That will make the room beautiful or the house beautiful.
No, that gives the character. This is
Yes.
my space, and it
Yeah.
is not some interior designer who's come and designed the space, and I have to
Correct.
maintain it the
Yes,
same way and
exactly
not
the way I
move
say.
it that way.
True.
So I feel, controlled homes versus casual homes. I'm not
Yes.
talking about finishes.
I
I'm
get
talking
it. I
about the look and
completely
feel
understand.
about
Yes,
it.
yes, yes.
Are much more easier to sit and relax, be yourself, and if you don't. And even if you tend to scratch the floor or
Hmm.
maybe move the furniture, you're not screaming for help and
Exactly.
oh my god, I moved the furniture 2 inches away from the actual position.
Correct.
And I think that's too taxing. It's like even clothes, you want to make and breathe in them. I
True.
feel spaces also you need to breathe. You just
Absolutely.
cannot have it so rigid. It looks good for some time, but then you want to be yourself.
True.
At least
So
that's
this
what
is
I
some.
feel.
I get it. So that's exactly how you build it up for your clients.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how you build it. I'll not use the word clients. Maybe I'll say that they are
The
your
homeowners.
customers, the
Oh,
homeowners,
yeah.
and you actually help them to do that. So that's a beautiful thing that you do, because you want them to not be perfect, but you also want them to be like, be yourself.
Yes,
And
because
that's
I think
amazing.
I feel homes now, they are the only places where you can just chill and be yourself. The
Yes.
whole world is so big bad.
Yes,
You know,
it's
you-
like that's
you-
you get into your own skin when you
Yeah.
come back home, right?
Yeah, and you don't want furniture disturbing your legs,
Yes.
and you can't put the feet on your
Oh,
for,
on the
table,
table.
or
Perfect.
your shoes are not. Of course, yes, it has to be organized.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
cannot
yeah,
be chaos and things are lying on that. That's clutter.
Yes.
There's difference between clutter and a design that
And a
is easy
character.
flow
Perfect.
and which makes you comfortable at the moment you enter.
True. I
So
get it. Great. Is interior design a manipulation? It's not the regular question, but what do you think? What's your take in this?
So every space influences us. Before we think, we feel. Before we see, we sense it. So I feel light, material, color, texture in space has a very influential has an influential part on our behavior, on our energy, on our thinking process. So design as an manipulation or intention is between control and care. I feel that.
True.
So whether we are manipulating it to our advantage or we're controlling it.
It's a very deep question, by the way,
Yeah.
for the audience. So I would like all of you to really get where we are actually heading to. So yeah, so basically you're saying that it can be manipulation also,
Or
or
intention.
it's intention.
So it's between something which is control and care. Now, when you control, is the sense is what is manipulation, because you're manipulating the space to for a particular vision that you feel about
Right.
what you want to do, or which may not be you.
True. Yeah, because maybe, as we always say, as human beings, we have all kinds of personality.
Yeah.
Right? One is what we want to portray to the world, right? And also there's one that we are. So maybe that but it could be manipulation. It's just a conversation that I'm having. It could be manipulation that when you want to show something that could be not you.
Exactly.
And but that could
That's
be
your
something you want to show.
Yeah,
right?
and
So
which
that
is
is
fair.
manipulation, which
See,
is fair, absolutely fine, which is fair. So that is not.
I don't see that as a problem,
No, no,
but
no,
it
it
is
is
you
not.
have your intention has to be clear, in that.
And you have to be
So-
clear yourself that what you are doing is a manipulation, but you're clear there in your mind, isn't it?
So a lot of spaces manipulate you.
Yeah.
Like the movement, how you move,
True.
make it look taller, make it
True.
look wider. Those are sense of space that is created.
Uh-huh.
But when you're like creating a space for a home, then when you're between imposing a vision and creating a space that reflects your inner world,
Correct.
is where the thin fine line is about. And a lot of people, I feel, miss that line, miss that bus.
So do you think, just a question again, do you think that in a home or a house, I'd say home because that's where you live, house sounds very, so basically in a home, do you see different rooms can provide that for you? For example, there is a certain corner or a certain room in my house where I'm actually not in the manipulative space, I am real me. Do you think that happens?
Yeah, of
Just
course.
asking.
Your bedrooms, your
Yes.
corners for your reading, your library, and the living room becomes a sense of manipulation where you're having the
Yes,
sense of
because-
pride of
pride,
owning
yes.
things or owning materialistic possession and to
Yes.
show it off, which I think is fair enough as a space, because that's what all Indian homes are all about.
Yes, you've
So
got your friends there or your colleagues. You have certain people you want to entertain, and you're calling them home, and you want them to show the living room is maybe manipulation,
Yes.
right? Because that's what you want to show, that this is maybe inside you're not that, but you want to show that, and people say, "Wow, this is really nice. All the best things are there lying in the place." I think it
yeah,
does.
that's the outer world, and the inner world could be your secret corners in the
Yes.
home. So I think it's a both mixed about how you intend to design homes,
Mm-hmm.
because designers, as designers, we choreograph emotions.
Perfect.
We guide movements.
Yes.
Like your
There's a lot of
space pla-
psychology
yes.
actually
Yeah.
involved in this, and it does work.
It's not just generally about styling and just
Exactly.
putting your two
It's a
bits
lot
of
more
material.
deeper.
Yeah.
It's more deeper.
Yeah,
The layers are more deeper.
Yeah, you're giving a
Correct.
sense of movement to the space,
Correct.
sense of emotion by bringing in some sorts of paintings which are interactive,
Yes.
artwork that is something which is reflective of your personality,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of color, sense of textures that you want to resonate with.
True.
So I think as designers we have to be responsible,
Mm-hmm.
because we are actually creating homes for people with their money,
True.
using our experience
True.
and creativity.
But it's
So-
a teamwork, I believe, right? Because obviously the homeowners have their perspective, and you being a designer with so many years of experience and done so many homes, you also have your perspective. So then you marry it together and come up with something very interesting, right?
Yeah, so no homes are designed similarly. No
True.
spaces are designed similarly. That's a rule in our studio.
Perfect.
We don't want to follow the same. I get bored very often, so I
That's
like
true.
to
I get it.
I like to be creative. So when we are very creative and overstimulated bunch of people in the office, in the studio, we just feel that how best when we can show what the client intends to hire us for that.
True.
So I just feel that's an important as a designer, and not putting in things which
Like
don't
not templatizing
required,
it.
yes.
Not templatizing
Yeah.
it, because templatizing doesn't work, and that's where people will have you on board, because every home is different and every emotions are different, and you actually give a proper shape to that emotion
Yeah.
that happens, right?
Yeah, so we love details. We
Yeah.
love the small details and the small things that matter. We feel that's the most focal point. Of course, the planning, the sense of flow, the traffic, the functionality of each space, of course, has to come with the what is required and what is necessary. But the small details about the child's or the pet owners, the small little thing that we make for them, so that he doesn't trip down the staircase or
Oh,
doesn't
yes.
trip, or
And also, I'm sure when you have a little child, you're very careful. The corners
Yes.
have to be looked into. Those sockets need to be covered.
Yes.
Not really. I know all of this because that's very, very important when you have a little child. So even the homeowners provides that information, and also you being a designer for so many years, you also provide that information that aisa hona
yeah,
chahiye, or
and
this is
and
something you
even
need to
for
look
the
at.
older generation, having
Yes.
the sensor lights, so that in the
Yes.
night when they wake up and go to the kitchen, they should be, not fiddling and falling down.
True.
The certain sense of bathroom
I
space
was
for
just
a
going to say that.
wheelchair to
Yes.
turn.
Yes.
All these
Or
things.
also, if there is a commode, there is a proper space to hold and they to get up. All that
Grip
is a
bars,
grip bars. Yes. So I think those are important aspects, and those are the nuances that you look into when you are designing somebody's
Yeah.
home, and you get to know the profile of the people who are living in that house.
Correct.
Right.
So I would say that every home is in like an autobiography of the homeowners, and we are the ones who are actually helping them to write
Yes.
that.
Amazing.
It's a storytelling process.
Yes.
When you have owners coming and so proudly, talking to their friends and their relatives, and they have a story to tell. Like a couple of years ago, I did a beautiful house which was absolutely spiritual.
Nice.
And each painting and each element that we did had something to talk about the family, or why did this, or something to talk about spirituality, something to talk about religion. And everybody would say, oh wow, that's the feedback she gave me. And she says, everybody thinks my house is like a museum, because every art piece has some story to tell.
Which is nice, isn't
and that's
it?
what she wanted, and that's
Yeah.
what I gave her. And I think it's such a beautiful feeling, and amalgamation of so many religions put together in one bed, one space. Of course, it just took the whole creativity out of us. We were like so overworked about it, because there's so much to do in that kind of special homes, where we have to think out of the box.
True.
But yes, mission accomplished,
Perfect.
as I always say.
Great. I think, Purvi, it was a great conversation, and it was a lot of things that we also got to know about it, about your profession and what you do. So now we have something very interesting, which is called the rapid fire round.
Oh my God.
Okay. So,
I hope I answered it correctly.
depending on how you want to answer
Am I going to
it.
get a gift?
Uh,
Then I'll answer it. Otherwise, I am
we
not
will,
going to.
we will.
Okay.
Off the camera. Okay. One material you can't live without in your design space. What is what one material that you cannot live
Oh, I cannot live without wood. I love
Oh.
the wood, the grains. I love the warmth of it. The actual material is so versatile. No designer can do without it in any homes
so
or
you
any
suggest
space.
wood for all the designers.
No, I don't suggest. It's the only material that is most versatile for us as designers. So I don't
Nice.
see any other material other than wood that can be, now whether it's a recycled wood or original Burma
Burma
teak
teak,
or a
correct.
mango wood. It doesn't matter. But the wood, the warmth that it gives us is amazing,
Nice.
And that's one of the most primary materials used in buildings also.
Okay. A city that inspires your design the most.
So Japan has always been my source of inspiration for its
why?
minimalistic approach to design. Japanese have OCD issues. You see
Absolutely,
their
they have.
public toilets, you see everything is so functional and designed that you can't even move left and right. When
True.
you move left and right, the flush is already automatically working. Your hands, the tap water is censored, so you're doing that. So you don't have to think. You just have to do what they tell you to do.
Right.
And which is a problem also, and also not a problem, because then you don't have to use your brains. You're just doing clockwise everything that has been planned to do, and you're out.
But don't you think that's like perfection, or like
It is. But there is a lot of spirituality and minimalism in Japan
that.
and the architecture. My favorite architect is the Tadao Ando.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just love him because the way he designs, it's so spiritual. It's like poetry in motion,
Nice.
And yes, I've gone in search of his places to see them. hiked there for few days, sat there in the space, like looking at it and admiring it. And I still feel I want to go back there.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Okay, your signature scent for a home space.
I said bloody orange.
Bloody orange. Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Is it bloody orange?
Yes, it's a
Okay.
it's a scent. I'm developing it because
Uh-huh.
I love the citrusness in any of my fragrances, and I need the wood also in it.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, we've called it bloody orange.
I love
Let's
the
see.
name Bloody Orange, by
Yeah.
the way.
Yeah, it
Okay.
sounds like a drink, na?
It is like a Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, another one that I would like to ask you is describe your design style in 3 words. Just 3 words, huh? You can't take it long.
Functional
Okay.
with spiritualism. I'll just take 2 words.
Okay, good. So, functional and spiritual, like it's quite a thing, huh? By
It's
the way.
not a contrast. I think functionality for as designers you need to have like a table is a table. You
Yes.
can't change the dining table for anything else.
So, what you can do in that? Like, how do you make it in a spiritual light? That's a functional. Like, this is a table. There's a
Yeah,
table
so you
here,
use
how
a
do
lot of semi-precious stones, a lot
Uh-huh.
of colors that
Nice.
resonate with spiritualism. Like the mother of pearl is a color is a semi-precious stone that gives you peace. It's got lots of pearls and
Yes.
whiteness in it.
True.
Then there is rose quartz.
Rose quartz, yes.
is, as we all know, and we use these stones in our hands and rooms and all that. That can be used, which also is a color for love, affection.
Nice.
So when you mix these two things, it gives you a unique character and personality to your space, which no homes have it. And I think it's nice to be in that
those are
space.
your basic USPs, you might say. Like that's something that you tell your home buyers that this is something you can do it. Like that's
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
that's your USP.
if it resonates with them, I'll try and move ahead with that and try and get you more kind of concepts for that. But I think eventually it has worked for us, and a lot of overall feeling of using certain metals and certain finishes, especially semi-precious, they have a lot of to do with spiritual stuff. If you see
Right.
our temples also,
Yes.
there's a lot of use of semi-precious stones. Of course, they are expensive, but then that's why they use sparingly. They're not
True.
used like in mass productions. So they have that the energy is kind of, rewired or it is enhanced
True.
in a certain manner. Crystals also have a nice, different crystals. Our gods, our temples always have these. So if you use them in a nice manner, you're actually, building up your energy in a positive way. And that's all what we want today's
Absolutely.
time.
And
We want.
especially as we discuss, home is a space where you go back and you unwind, right?
Yes.
So you
So
don't
yeah, that's a
really
space to rejuvenate and get
unwind.
positive energy back. Because the world itself pulls you down with negative energy.
True.
So I think it's a space that you build there and you realize that, okay, this is my, I'm charging. I'm recharging. Like how we
Correct.
recharge our phones.
Yes.
I'm recharging my mental balance.
So this is last question to you, which I want to ask you is, what do you want to inform the young budding designers that how they need to operate, what they need to do, what are the things that you feel that are required, that needs to be keeping them dogged and going?
So the young designers I see, of course, they are phenomenal. They have a good sense of design and creativity, but they're not hardworking. But they are used to that because technology came to them at a very
Yes.
younger age,
Yes.
and we've learned the dogmatic way. So we feel our way is the best
Best
way,
way, yes,
and
true.
not your way. But I think the young guys, the young people are doing phenomenally well, and they are able to adapt and be flexible about it. And they have learned to put their foot down regarding their personal spaces. That's one thing I really admire
I
about the
completely
generation.
agree. Yeah, the Gen Zs, I'll
Yeah,
say that they really
yeah.
know how to put that this thing. So when
Put-
we
no.
were millennials, we were little. When we used to do something, I think we only had our blinkers, and we could only do that point of time, and we would go ahead and we'll do it. But I think there is a lot of with Gen Zs. I see there is a lot. They do a lot of things, and they are very particular that इतना है, ऐसे ही करना है. I think that's something which, but it's also good.
I
you know?
think it's a good thing
It's a
to
good
do.
thing.
Earlier, I used to think it's not because,
Yeah.
you know, you've got to focus on your career, you've got to focus
Yeah.
on your career. But I guess you need to have some time out.
Of course, I agree.
You just cannot be continuously doing, even if you're in the field of creativity,
Yes.
you need to actually reset your brains,
Yeah.
or your body, your physical body, because it cannot be all the time stressed out on a particular
yes.
thing. So
Yes,
I feel the
yes.
Gen Zs are doing pretty well with them, and they're coming up with innovative ways to even do work. So
Yeah.
I guess there's a lot of learning to learn from
No,
them.
yes, I completely agree with you because there are a lot of times it happens with me. You are a founder of a company, so am I. And then what happens is so many times I just become dogged. But then I realize that no, you just need to also unwind and do other things also. So, like, I've got into music now,
Oh.
which is absolutely very different than, so that gives me a lot of space for unwinding. I'm sure there are a lot of things that you are also doing which gives you that space. So that's a lot of learning that I have from the Gen Zs.
Yes.
It helps me to start unwinding myself in a certain way. I think that's
I agree with this.
so it's a good there's a lot of learning from them, and of course they also have to learn a lot from us.
Yeah, I guess so. But
So yeah, so I think great. So that's how we thank you, Purvi, so much for great learning that we had, a lot of discussions, and I think the discussion was very interesting and a nice tete-a-tete that we had with each other. So thank you for the time.
thank you very much. It was my pleasure. I hope I've brought something to the plate for the people
Oh,
to
yes.
understand and
Yes.
give information and value it. Because I
Yes.
just feel that as we grow, we should bring some sort of
Yes.
value to other
Value
people.
to other people. That's very, very important. Knowledge needs to be shared.
Yes.
I always believe in that.
Yes.
So knowledge.
So
should be
thank you
kept.
very much for this lovely evening, and it was great. It's different because you're all the time on the field. So when you actually sit back and talk and discuss
Yes.
it in a controlled atmosphere,
Yes.
you're like, oh really? My life has been like that.
Yeah, when you start, you think you're thinking and you're also
Revisiting,
revisiting. Yeah, you're right. You're revisiting your thoughts and what you've been doing, and then you say, "Oh, really? I've done so much.
Yeah.
Wow, great. So good. Thank you so much, Purvi. Thank you
Yes.
so much."